Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the FPL Conservatory, your one-stop shop podcast for everything FPL. For those of you new to the podcast, we're available on both Spotify and YouTube, so please make sure to follow and subscribe. We can offer you analytics, the FPL veteran experience, we have banter, we have knowledge, and we have Perry Williamson. we, we appreciate the support so far in the comments we keep getting through. A special shout out to Callum Highland today, who I see listens to every week, he comments every week, and I've never known a guy as interested in his raised penis as his stepdad. Right, seriously, this week we are going to look through game week 1. We will be reviewing the points, the bonus points, the assists, who to avoid, team reviews from the FPL Conservatory League. We'll give you the code later, and we can discuss how bored and annoying Pep is. I'm not taking it better, but let's get into this. Right, so I'm going to introduce you guys in a different way than we've done it. So for game week 1, average points was 65. So when I say your name, just give us what points you got, a little overview of your team. Yeah, let's do this. So welcome to the pod, Mason Grove.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be on the pod once more. What was the average, Joe? Sorry, I seem to have a memory of a goldfish.
It was 65.
65. So I'm sitting at 79, which in the over grand scheme of things is good. You'll find, yeah. So, but I'm not overly pleased with it. Could have been better. Most of the big performers did well. Obviously, Salah, Sterling, my defence did very strong, which I put a lot of my funds into. My blanks were my differentials. Barkley, Perez, Sigurdsson and King all did diddly squat.
Yeah, I think that's quite a common theme. I think the big players did a lot and the differentials weren't really getting many returns. Perry Williamson, welcome to the pod.
What up?
How did you do?
Well happy with my week, to be honest. 92 points. I had the 3 premium players that done well: Salah, Sterling, Kane. All my defenders picked up points. The only players that blanked for me was King, Maddison, Barkley. Just very upset about Barkley's performance, especially when I had Crystal Palace defender Kelly, who got 6 points on the bench.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's my sort of. But 92 points, can't complain too much. Happy.
That's decent for game week 1. Mr. Jake Harris, welcome.
No, thanks for having me again. 93 points from me. Normal service has been resumed in the Ribdibs Good Bowl. I'm sitting top of the pile. I've got my main 3: Salah, Sterling, Kane. Then I had Van Dijk who got a goal, and John McGinn for me wrapping up them 7 points. Absolutely huge purchase at the start of the season. So yeah, really, really happy.
So do you like being on top, Jake?
Yeah, I like being on top, and I like you underneath, bro.
Where am I then? Where am I in all this?
Don't know, somewhere at the bottom of my shoe.
You're down in my toilet basin, mate.
Right, I'll go through the other 2. So Jordan and Ray can't be here. Jordan, I've got on 76 points. Most of them coming from both Salah and Sterling. He did have Zuma in his team, who got -1.
Ooh,
He did have the combo. Yeah, he did have the combo of Josh King and Jimenez up front, bringing him a massive 4 points combined. So huge. So I think Jordan, he peaked a few seasons ago. He's not lived since, and yeah, he's just dwelling in mid-table these days. We've got Ray, who is the wild card. I've looked at his team. He got 84 points. I think
He's doing better than me.
Commendable.
And that's with -2 from Hanley.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, like, he did fair enough. He took Ruddy out. He understood. He actually did finally listen. Put De Gea in the sticks. He got him 10 points. But yeah, Ray did have Hanley starting for some reason with -2 points coming in his team. Yep. So I'm your host, Joseph Cummins. I got 68 points. I need to talk about that. Pep's
Bald fraud is back.
Yeah, great week. Bottom of our private league, and I think I'm very low in the FPL Conservatory. But it's week 1. Things can change. We'll see.
You hope so, mate, for your sake.
I hope so. Right, let's get into the segment 1. So game week 1, it started on Friday with Liverpool at home to the Canaries. We all predicted a comfortable win, but Jake, talk us through it.
Yeah, normal service resumed for Liverpool at home. They didn't lose a single game at home last season, and they seem to have kicked off the new season thumping newly promoted Norwich 4-1. The game was pretty much over in the first 28 minutes. They were 3-0 up with goals from Salah and Van Dijk and assists from Salah and Firmino. Origi stole the show, racking up 12 points for a goal and an assist, and he nabbed a free bonus. So yeah, brilliant play from anyone that had Origi for game week 1 in Mane's absence, but Mane being subbed on in the second half absolutely screams that Origi should be transferred out, in my opinion. Take your 12 points, run, don't fall into the trap. Mane is definitely going to be slotting back in there. Everyone expected Liverpool to give Norwich a lesson, but to me it was quite surprising that Norwich had quite a fair amount of shots across the 90 minutes. They had 12 shots in total, 5 on target. Pookie notched one on for Norwich, and he took it well. Norwich only spent 3.5 million since being promoted, which is really, really, really low. I think it's the lowest ever of a promoted team since the Premier League began. Maybe they feel they've got enough in the squad, but yeah, they got absolutely smashed, really. So to wrap up the game, I'd say keep an eye out on the Liverpool defence, especially now Alisson's out for 6 weeks. I don't know if anyone knows, but Adrian is 4.5 mil on fantasy. So he could be a temporary pick to free up some funds. But this week masks the loss of the Liverpool clean sheet as Van Dijk scores and Trent Alexander-Arnold notches another assist, 5 games consecutive. So fantasy managers still walk away with the returns in that game.
Unless you got Robertson like me, mate, then you get away with nothing.
Then Robertson, you obviously got the 2 points. You picked the wrong defender there.
But I got both.
Who have you got?
Went for both, Trent and Robbo.
Big 7 points.
Not missing out on either of them. That's a point per million. No, it's not. It's even less. It's 0.5
points
per million. That's not good.
It's not ideal. I just had Van Dijk and got the 8 points from the cheaper option. So maybe
let's see if this is the same conversation next week, shall we?
It's mad how fantasy just affects every game you watch. Like if you think that I haven't got Gylfi Sigurdsson for let's take and if I watch an Everton game and Gylfi's on the ball and looking like to shoot, I'll just pray that it's not going in. Like it's
so true.
You never watched 6 years ago before you get involved in fantasy. You can just sit and watch a game.
Yeah.
But now you just everything just
so revolves around fantasy. Sleep, dream, eat fantasy.
That's it, man. The teams you hate, you kind of just think they go 1-0 up, and now you're looking for them to get another 3 goals because you've got Kane captain. It's mad.
I was buzzing for the Liverpool match. I was a Liverpool fan. I was like, let's fucking smash Norwich 5-0. I want to see Sara hat-trick. I was hang on, what's going on?
Yeah, but last season, I think I had Hazard in. Obviously, I'm a Spurs fan. Chelsea playing. Hazard scores some last minute goal or something. It was in the race for top 4. I'm up literally celebrating. I looked at myself afterwards what am I doing?
Right, cheers for that, guys. So let's move on to the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. That was Man City getting their season underway at the Olympic Stadium. There's been a lot of talk on this podcast about who to put. I remember in the first podcast I mentioned Laporte, De Bruyne, Jesus. None of them winning my team. Mason, talk us through what happened.
Yeah. So they come flying out the blocks, didn't they? City picking up where they left off. Probably following on from Liverpool the night before as well. Obviously a convincing, dominating win over West Ham. They look just as ruthless. Sterling got the hat-trick, obviously, and he also got another disallowed VAR goal. So he could have got 4, and that was very close. I was watching it on Sky Sports News. It was a couple, half an inch offside, if that. It was crazy. So he could have had 4 goals. So if he's not in your team and you're listening, get him in your team. The other 2 goals came from the rotating strikers of Jesus and Aguero. I do think this is the year where Aguero is going to be playing a little bit less minutes and Jesus is going to play a bit more. This obviously, and you know how much Pep loves a rotation, Joe, you especially.
Uh-huh.
I think they'll be rotating a lot this year, and I think Aguero might be getting slightly phased out, and I think Kane and Uber will be the top premium striker picks. So yeah, that was a City game. The City side, sorry. West Ham picks. If you have West Ham players, obviously I wouldn't feel too hard done by, and I wouldn't knee-jerk them out just yet. They played a very strong City side. The result was only going one way, to be fair. I did think they'd sneak a goal, but they weren't able to. If you do have the likes of Fornals, Haller, and those guys, I'd let them play some games before you make any rash judgments.
Who's having a West Ham player for game week 1? Just sub them in after the game. It's just surely a dumb move.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Some people out there. I know a friend of mine has started with Felipe Anderson in his squad, and he was saying to me yesterday he's going to take him out. And I was like, just chill out, mate. It was against City, what do you expect? I mean, they got Brighton next, then Watford, then Norwich. then Villa.
Yeah, it's the proper test, isn't it?
So that's when you're going to get the points. Maybe they're just bypassing game week 1, taking the L, so to speak, and looking forward to those tasty fixtures coming up.
They still got spanked at home first game, though. They got spanked. I know it is City, but
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's City against West Ham. Like, it's 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 was expected.
Did I see a stat that said City have scored 24% of all goals scored at the London Stadium so far? Because they've just beaten like 5-0, 5-1, 4-1, 4-0. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
You hate
It's horrendous.
See it, mate. You hate to see it.
You kind of love to see it, to be honest. But
West Ham stuff.
Cool. Right, let's get on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Let's start with you, Pel. Talk me through Watford v Brighton in what I'd call probably the shock of the weekend, actually.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Yeah, it was shocking. Before the game, I put Brighton to get relegated. I thought they had a mare sacking Chris Hughton and stuff, but they played really well. And if you had a Brighton player in your team, there's a lot of points to be had up there because obviously with the clean sheet, so you got Duffy, Montoya, Byrne all getting 6 points. Ryan, I saw a lot of people having Ryan in their team. He scored 9 points, so that was big. Dunk got the 3 bonus points at the back, scoring him 11 points. So if you had Dunk in, which is another popular choice, you've done well. Pascal Gross and Proper come in with 2 assists, getting 6 points in the midfield. March and Stevens getting their 3 points. And up top, you've got Andoni and Morpie. Murray somehow only gets 2 points. I don't know how Murray, Murray's at least a 6-point machine. But so Brighton looking really strong. Got 3 goals out there. So that's 3 different assists, 2 different goal scorers. No, 3 different goal scorers. No, 2. My bad. And it looked really good. Now, however, if you had any Watford players in your team, thank God, last day on Friday morning, I got rid of Dale Feu, and he scored a big 1 point. Now, if you've got any Watford players in your team, you've had a mare. Especially if you've got Abdoulaye Doucouré. I was out with someone the other day, and she was like, first thing she said to me was Fantasy League. Had Doucouré. I was like, you've had a mare. 0 points. Everyone else, 2 points and 1 point. So yeah, if you had any Watford players, luckily I didn't. You've had a shocker. On the other hand, if you had Brighton players, if you had like Pascal Gross, which was an absolute favourite from 2 seasons ago, you've done well. So yeah, that is my roundup. That's all I've got to say about that, really.
Yeah, cheers, Pel. I saw they played back 3 and Ryan. That's very budget defence. So definitely one to look out for, Brian. I didn't have expectations from him, but you never know with Graham Potter. Right, so Jake, let's go to Bournemouth v Sheffield United because I think there's one player you want to talk about definitely.
Well, what can I say, boys?
Here we go.
Right, Mystic Jake, I swear.
The man, the myth, the legend. Billy fucking Sharp. Equalises for the Blades, subbed on in the 82nd minute, and the Midlands Messi takes only 6 minutes to pounce inside the 6-yard box. In my opinion, just keep him on the pitch at all times. You're going to win at least 5-0 every game. The game ended 1-1 with goals from Mepham, who I'd never heard of before, for Bournemouth, and an assist from Callum Wilson. No returns this game week for Josh King, who has a 19.9% owned percentage, which is actually higher than Wilson, obviously because of the price difference there. Sheffield United are actually the better team throughout the 90. Eddie Howe said in the post-match that the Cherries did not play to their strengths at all. So he's obviously looking to maybe switch that up in the next week, potentially some more attacking threat. Important to note was Lundstrom, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, who is a 4 mil defender. He started as a wing-back for Sheffield United. I imagine he's on most people's benches. He's on my bench. But Sheffield United have 2 home games on the spin coming up against Palace and then Leicester. So we will definitely find out a better picture about Sheffield United in the next 2 game weeks. I have actually somehow backed myself into a corner and I've got double Sheffield United defence in my next game week.
Oh, God.
Like, I've got Henderson in goal, and then I've realised that Walker Peters has City away. So I'm obviously going to play Lundstrom. So I'm either going to walk away
Sheffield United fan,
absolutely bossing the differentials, or I'm going to walk away with, as I expect, 2 1 points. 2 1 points from Henderson and Lundstrom.
But Lundstrom got 3 points this week, so that must mean he got 1 bonus, right?
He got 1 bonus and didn't contribute anything. You've just
Wow.
That's
played.
not bad. It sounds like he was working hard.
This year's Wan-Bissaka, you're saying?
He could be.
No, Lundstrom.
He could be Wan-Bissaka. It's mad that he's actually starting for 4 mil. He's in my team. But Bournemouth, quite disappointing. Sheffield United apparently gave a good account for themselves. And obviously, if you've got Billy Sharp in the team, as I said, you can send your PayPal money to my account.
I saw this funny video the other day. It was today, actually, of a Sheffield United fan walking into the Vitality Stadium. Obviously, it's only got one tier all the way around. Comes in and he goes to his video and he goes, "What the fuck is this place?" Goes up to the steward and goes, "Excuse me, mate, do you know where the stadium is?" So as he's coming out through his seat.
Right. Cheers for that analysis, Jake. Mason, let's go over to you for the Burnley v Saints game. Quite a surprising scoreline.
Yeah. Also, this was the other surprising one, other than the Watford match, obviously. Burnley won 3-0. Obviously, they didn't have a great season last year. I think people kind of expected them to probably get back into it, but not come out of the blocks this quickly. They looked tempting, didn't they? Burnley straight away from game week 1. They got quite a lot of cheap players who fit the price range of areas that kind of people need. That kind of 5.5 midfielder price range. Ashley Barnes got on the score sheet twice. His goal record at the moment is pretty unreal. Joe, I'm not sure if I feel like you would know what his goal form is like at the moment.
No, he's. I think he's got for the Premier League. He's got 11 goals in 2019, which is literally up there with Aubameyang, Aguero, and everyone.
It's
so
the second
he's
highest.
Very good form.
He's the
6.5 mil as well, same as Josh King. So if you had Ashley Barnes rather than Josh King, but I must say on Burnley, I was having a look at putting Ashley Barnes in instead of Josh King for this week, but they got like 4 hard fixtures.
Indeed. Game week 5 is where I'm looking to slot in a Burnley player. I think they would do well this season. Sean Dyche obviously been with that group of guys for quite a long time now. I think they've got a good understanding. The 2 assists for Barnes' goal came from Eric Peters. I don't know what his ownership is, but I'm imagining it's quite low. And then a goal for Goodmanson as well, who's obviously plays kind of where does he play, centre mid or right mid? I can't remember.
He's in midfield somewhere.
In the midfielder.
Just knocking about somewhere in the midfield, obviously not another FPL asset. I think the attacking threat who people might have had in their team, Chris Wood, obviously blanked. So any Burnley kind of fans or people who have punted for Burnley early on and went for Chris Wood kind of been stung a bit there because the rest of the team played well. So I have written here, would look to get Burnley players in from game week 5 onwards. The next fixtures are very tricky. Arsenal away, Wolves away, then Liverpool at home. And then they have 4 or 5 matches which are rated as 2 on the app, which is the kind of easiest rating you can get. So very tempting to put some Burnley players in game week 5 onwards. From a Southampton perspective, they look shaky, unfocused. Redmond had some bright spells at the start of the first half, but once Burnley scored, they lost kind of all their momentum. Their players are kind of, I don't see many people with Southampton players, maybe because they've got some spotty fixtures coming up. They've got Liverpool at home, then Brighton away, then Man United at home, then Sheffield United away, so a mixture of good and bad. If you do have Saints players, you're going to want to you're going to need a sub maybe to rotate, a sub that plays so you can rotate them out on those Liverpool and United matches coming up.
I think if you're getting that Southampton has Danny Ings. So.
Yeah, Dings. Anyone who had Che Adams, be looking at him now with a bit of trepidancy, thinking, and I'd expect him to get subbed out now for other people of that price range, the likes of Barnes, Jota, King. If those two want to fucking start performing, that'd be great as well. And that's
you pull out some words, mate, on this podcast.
Mate, I'm a smart boy, mate.
Yeah. What?
How do you know the word trepidancy?
I read it. On Reddit.
Yes.
And that's all I got to say about Burnley Saints Philly.
Hey, you're right. Cheers for that, Mason. That's all the 3 o'clocks. So I'll cover the game that I actually went to, which was the 5:30 Tottenham v Aston Villa. I'll try and be an unbiased, so correct me if I'm wrong, team. Or comments if you want to get involved. I'll happily take the shine away from Ray's penis or Jordan's nan. Do I want that sentence on mine?
Did Jordan's nan go with you? What about Ray's penis?
She was with me.
Right, come on. Right. So 3-1 to Spurs, a very flattering scoreline. Actually, there's on our Instagram, just giving a little plug out there, and there's a voice clipping of the last podcast where Jake Harris actually said it would be 3-1 to Spurs, and he said that John McGinn would score a great goal. And this actually happened. 5.5 million. John McGinn scored a cracker.
He also stated that Harry would get a brace in that voice clip as well, which also happened.
That's FPL.conservatory on Instagram for anyone that wants to join the crew there.
Mate, I bet you wish you'd put a bloody tenner down on that now.
Yeah, I did, man. I made 500 grand. I'm quitting this podcast.
John McGinn scored first, Tottenham 3-1. Yeah, but it was a flattering scoreline, to be fair. Ndombele, who we said don't put in your team, scored a great goal from outside the box. And I think a lot of FPL managers were happy when in like the 85th minute, Kane scored, and then in the 91st minute, he scored again. So he got free bonus, which was 13 points. So that was healthy for a lot of FPL owners. I think he was pretty high in the captaincy list. We said Aston Villa were quite a mixed bag. They did play pretty well. I still wouldn't jump the gun on them because I remember Fulham had a decent start to last season as well.
John
but
McGinn.
Yeah,
it was a game of two halves, though. Don't you think the second half didn't pose any threat whatsoever?
Yeah, I'd say that's true. I'd say Wesley, he's looking like a Rondon sort of type. So he's either going to get you a few goals and then he's going to go about 5 weeks getting you 2 points and that. He's got a good hold-up play. He'll bring others into play, but I can't see him being a good shout for 6 million. He was on the one to watch. The ones I would say was Heaton. He got save points. He looked decently like his old Burnley self. Time wasting, keeping saves. You know, he's going to get points. Tyrone Mings is pretty epic, actually. He actually got 2 goals, even though they conceded 3 goals. So he could be one to watch if they have a good run of fixtures. Spurs, though, I'd say, with the fixtures coming up, avoid him if you haven't got Kane already.
What was the defence like, Joe? What was the Spurs defence playing like?
It was I don't know, they only had that one chance, which was like a long ball, and it was just misjudged. And after that, in the second half, Villa didn't have a shot on target, I don't think. So Kyle Walker-Peters looks like he's going to be staying until at least January.
I thought he played really well. I was very impressed with
he did. It's interesting, Vertonghen got left out for tactical reasons, so he wasn't even injured. So it was Toby and Sanchez. So Ben Davies is back in full fitness. So Spurs' defence is a bit of a lottery, really. I think Kyle Walker-Peters, if you've got him, I think with the Spurs home fixtures coming up, it could be worth leaving him on the bench 1 week, then putting him back in. But other than that, I'd say avoid him because Lamella and Mora, they didn't do anything. Ericsson come on and pretty much saved us, I'd say. He was the only question mark. So, yeah, I'd say that's it for that game, really. Right, moving on to Sunday. I was hoping we'd have another person giving us a live podcast, so I was hoping Ray would do it for Newcastle v Arsenal, but he actually went to St Mary's in Southampton, so I'm not... So, Mason, I think it's like you talk us through this one, please.
Hang on. Did we miss Jake talk about Palace Everton?
Palace Everton? Oh, that was 0-0. Yeah, I completely forgot about that game. Do you want to say anything about
that? Only if you want me to, man.
Yeah, go for it. I'm sure people got defenders of both teams.
And to be honest, I'm not really surprised that you forgot that game. I think I've only just woken up from the match of the day highlights. I mean, it was bad. Really disappointing from Everton. From the highlights I've seen on Match in the Day, this is like, don't judge me, I'm not going to watch 90 minutes of that, but really disappointing from Everton. There was a moment there though when they whipped it in and Silif Gjertsen got on the end of it, but it was cleared off the line by Patrick Van Aanholt. I know there.
Yes, I have both of those in my team.
I know a few people in here have got Digne and Silif Gjertsen, so that would have been some really
fucking
handsome
fuming.
response. Keane started on the bench, but he came on in the second half, so you imagine that he's going to be starting soon. Palace looked alright in the build-up, but they might as well just had Bentner up top. Like Max Meyer, he had the one-on-one. He just decided to literally pass it into the keeper's hands. Zaha came on, didn't make any impact. Palace, for me, really going to struggle to score. They've got Benteke as their main striker, who scored 4 times in the last 2 seasons, which is like fucking dreadful. There are a few clean sheet points knocking about. Kelly, 4-mil defender, got clean sheet. Digne obviously got a clean sheet. So that's all I've got to say about Silif Gjertsen, really.
Yeah, cheers for that. The less we say about that, the better. Over to you, Mason. Sunday, Newcastle Arsenal. Another game.
Yeah, sorry, me and Pal are just having a bit of a war here on our notes, Google Notes. We're just cussing each other. Anyway, Newcastle Arsenal. When I saw that starting 11 from Arsenal, mate, I physically laughed. Like, that is a bad starting 11. However, over the coming weeks, like Pepe, I think now, like, I reckon after game week 2, if he doesn't start 90 minutes next week, he'll start 90 minutes from game week 3 onwards. If earlier, I think he might even do the full 90 now from game week 2, because he came on in the game, obviously. So definitely one to keep an eye on Pepe. I reckon he'll start racking up points now. And I think he's at 9.5, which is somewhat affordable in that midfield range if you've got the funds laying about. And David Luiz obviously coming in, and Torreira will kind of put a bit more experience in that team, and I think they'll look a bit stronger. They still won, obviously. Uber got the goal, as expected, probably the only player in that Arsenal team you'd expect to be able to put the goal away. The assist was from Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Not much to write home about in the game. Newcastle looked okay. Their £40 million signing, Joe Linton, looked non-existent. He cost $6 million on FPL. They did bring on Saint Maxime, who looked really lively. He looked proper good. He had like 3 or 4 shots. He's priced at 5.5. But yeah, I wouldn't be getting any Newcastle players in my team anytime soon. But keep an eye out for Pepe and Aubameyang, obviously.
Yeah, cheers, sir. I mean, another one you said, I see Bellerin's out until October. So Maitland-Niles, obviously, he got a clean sheet and assist. And I know Arsenal got some decent fixtures-ish coming up. He's been a bit over.
Does anyone know his price?
He's 5 million.
Is he not down as a midfielder, though?
No, he's defender. He's down as a... Yeah, so he could be one to watch if Bellerin's out till October, but it's Arsenal. I'm not touching him. Anyway.
Arsenal defence is poor.
Yeah, I want to see when they add Tierney and David Luiz, if it makes any difference at all. Like, I think that Tierney is quite good going forward, so maybe a little assist left back, if Arsenal can keep a clean sheet, that is.
I bet that's the first time Arsenal's kept a clean sheet, especially away from home, in a long time. Nah, don't quote me on that, but I bet it is, because
they kept one clean sheet They kept one clean sheet away from home all of last season. I think that was the end.
So.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, I think if you play David Luiz, you've got to play him in the back 3, haven't you? I think as a back 4, he's a bit risky. So if you've got Tierney and I guess Bellerin or them, they're both 5.5 maximum or 5 million. So it could be one to watch in the future. Yeah. Right. Let's move on from that game. Leicester v Wolves. Mr. Perry Williamson. Talk us through this.
I think this is probably one of the most disappointing games for differentials for everyone, really, because there's a lot of differentials out there. But obviously, both teams not scoring. Man like Dendonco, who's in my starting team, got cheated by VAR. Was so happy to see it go in. Flash scores come up. I was like, yeah, that's points. But obviously, VAR, we've got to get used to it now. It's not, no luck. So only if you've really got any defenders in this team have you done well. Bolly picked up 3 bonus points. Evans and Pereira picked up the other bonus points as well. So there's a lot of points to be had in the back line. People doesn't see Johnny, Cody, Bennett, Pereira, Chilwell, Evans, and bloody, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that other name. Soyuncu. So a lot of people had Vardy, 2 points, disappointing. I had Maddison, 3 points. Then Donker, 3 points I had as well. So it's not the end of the world, 3 points, I guess. 6 points from 2 players, especially with the other players around him. But I'm going to be expecting more for next game. So bit of a disappointing game for the differentials, this one.
You say that. I think that Soyuncu is a 4.5 million, and it sounds like Rodgers is going to keep him. So he's a budget option, and if he's going in Leicester's defence,
it could be.
Could be.
That is one.
Right, final.
Slot them in.
Yeah, the final game. Been waiting for this. United v Chelsea. So Perry, you talk us through it, but I'm sure Mason and Jake will have a few things to say about this game as well.
Yeah, they got absolutely spanked, didn't they? Hated seeing Rashford get a brace. If you listen to me in the other podcast, I was so thinking about Rashford, and now I was having a look at my team earlier. I was trying to think of ways to work him in for 8.5 mil, which is a decent price for him, I think. So I need to free up about 2 mil and try to get rid of fucking shit Barkley. Try to work Rashford in, work Sank out, but I don't know. I haven't quite cracked it yet. If you had Kurt Zuma, who was another player that was in my team, but thankfully I took him out before this game week 1. -1 for Kurt Zuma, so that is a shocker. Anyone got Zuma in here? I think Jordan.
Jordan.
I had him like 2 days before and I took him out.
Yeah, so Yeah, so hardly any points for any Chelsea players, really. Barkley, got me that big 1 point. Thank you. All the back line got 0 points, Zoom on a -1. Now, a lot of points to be had in the United team. De Gea got 10 points. So that's a huge, I think that's probably the highest scoring goalkeeper of this week. Wan-Bissaka got me 8. So that was decent. So he got bonus points, even though you guys are a bit unsure as to why he was receiving them points. Am I right?
Yeah, it just seems ridiculous. But I think you've got some stats behind, haven't you?
Sorry?
I think you know why, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, sorry,
I
man.
wish I did, mate. I wish I did. But yeah, he picked up the bonus point. I mean, I'm not sure how they even correlate.
Doesn't make sense, man. How can you have like fucking 4 goals, 4 assists, and the fucking right back gets fucking 2 bonuses? Dead.
Yeah.
Doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, so Rashford picked up a bonus point, and Wan-Bissaka and De Gea picked up bonus points as well. Goals from Rashford, Martial, and James. So I'm sure a lot of people would have had them. So yeah, I mean, points wise, if you had any United player, bar from a few, you're doing all right. And Chelsea looks like it's a shocking start to the season, and no one really saw it coming. So I'll let the Chelsea boys talk now, because I'm sure they'll sponsor.
Okay, cool. Chelsea, have you got anything to say about that? I was annoyed because I looked at the start 11 and all the FPL prices, every start 11 was under 7 mil. So I'm guessing based on that performance, you guys are not going to be putting any of them in your team soon.
I think the defence was just obviously an absolute fucking shambles all over the place, really. The first half, we looked decent going forward. We hit the post a couple of times, Emerson and Abraham. I wasn't totally convinced by Abraham's performance, if I'm honest with you. It didn't really seem like he was doing so much to like disturb Maguire. I think it was a comfortable evening for him. Glimpses of going forward was not too bad, but yeah, absolute collapse at the back. Frank Lampard is fully at the wheel.
Mason, you got anything to say?
I think we played pretty well, to be honest.
Alonso's not on the wheel.
Ooh.
Damn.
Ooh.
What did he say?
At least Alonso's not at the wheel.
Oh my word.
Or Laurie's at that rate as well, to be fair. What's my opinions on it? I think we played really well, to be honest. I think we had more shots than them, more on target. We just got done 4 times on the counter, which is obviously unacceptable. Lack of concentration needs to be fixed. But I think going forward, we look pretty promising. Goals wise and FPL wise, fucking avoid everyone at Chelsea right now until we figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's a good analysis. Right. So that was all the game week 1 rounded up. Oh, sorry, go on, Pel. You got anything?
So I'm going to stick with Barkley for this week. Surely they'll sort it out. Who have you got next at home? Can anyone
Leicester.
tell me?
We got Leicester away next.
No,
Got home then, surely.
Oh, it's home, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, surely.
So Leicester at home.
Leicester, we've got Chelsea at home.
Yeah, Leicester home.
Leicester.
What day is that on, by the way? Because I'm thinking
Sunday.
you've got a game in Istanbul, haven't you, pretty soon?
Yeah, we got that Wednesday against Liverpool, which is just balmy, but whatever.
4:30 Sunday.
So they play Friday, you play Sunday, you got to play Wednesday. Let's not get political about the FPL. Right, segment number 2. Right, so let's review the FPL Conservatory League. So first off, thanks if you're still listening, thank you. And thank you for all joining our league. 631 people we've got, I saw, before we started this podcast.
Huge.
We're very chuffed. I think we're still going to let people join, aren't we? So the code is wcrewd. I'm not going to spell that. It's on all the social media. Jake's been smashing the social media. So check that out, guys. We appreciate you joining. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some prizes. It's not going to be big budget, but it's going to be something towards the end of the season. So currently top is Kevin Barber. The name West Brom 19. Very high fault there. 107 points. Should we go through his team?
Yeah, go on.
So he played 4-4-2, but ended up being 4-5-1 because someone got subbed out. So he had Pope in goal, and it ended up with it being the back 5 of Van Dijk, Zinchenko, Walker, Dunk, and Lundstrom, obviously. So that's pretty solid defence. 3 in midfield. He did well because he got Sterling, Salah, and Martial in midfield. Martial 7.5, looking like a bargain at the moment. And up front, he had Kane and Wilson. So pretty much everyone in his team got points.
It's the differentials that make it up, isn't it? Because everyone's going to have your Sterling, Salah, Kane, and all these guys. But when you
It's
get
this 11-point dunk, mate,
when Dunk's getting 11 and Pope's getting 8, then obviously they're the additional 19 or whatever points that take you to the next level. So it's just a game of differentials, really. But yeah, no, a decent team, fair enough, top of the league, 37 to go.
Yep, I saw a lot of people triple captain Salah. I don't know if they're like taking the mick or if they literally saw Norwich at home as being a good points game. But yeah, it paid off either way. So we'll see how they carry on. Let's go to the bottom of the league.
So there's 8 people who broke the 100 mark this year.
I think
so far this week.
Yeah, and I think about 5 of them had triple captain Salah. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right, let's go to the bottom of the league. I won't say his name, but his team name is Star-Lords. I think it was quite an unlucky week, to be fair, because it's not even like a really bad team. Well, you can judge. So he had Kepa in goal, obviously.
Must be pretty bad to be last.
But yeah, but I mean, I'll tell you the team, and then you can say. So Kepa in goal, back 4, Cathcart, Steve Cook, Christensen, and Zinchenko. He had a midfield 4 of Pogba, Ericsson, David Silva, and Fraser. And he had Jimenez and Vardy up front. And that team scored 29 points.
Yikes.
It's going to be one of them ones, isn't it? Like, because on a week that Jimenez and fucking Vardy score when no one else, I don't have them. Like, he's going to get the points and I'm not. So it's just like, he's got a completely different team to everyone else, so I'm sure one week they'll perform, but it doesn't seem like he's got the many
where's his money
players. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Is his bench decent or what?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Madison and King.
He had Madison and King second and third choice subs. Like,
He must have made that team and then forgot about it, man, because you're not starting them 2 on the bench when King's playing at home to Sheffield United.
Yeah, you'd say. But you never know, mate. Stick with us, and hopefully you pick up the points soon. You'll probably catch me at this rate, so don't worry about it.
I'm not even lying. 29 points is what I was averaging last season, mate. Fuck it, no. Towards the end of it, honestly, I was happy to get like 50 points.
Yeah.
Right, let's we'll do the final segment. So it's early substitutions. Has anyone here in the sub made a sub before I talk about the knee jerks?
Yep.
Oh, there's a knee-jerk.
Yeah, I knee-jerk yesterday in the Chelsea game. We were 3-0 down. I was looking at my phone. I was on the FPL app. I had transferred Barkley out with a replacement. They broke on the counter-attack as I was considering it. I was watching the game. I said, if this goes in, I'm making this sub. And they scored. Daniel James, bottom right corner. So I subbed out Barkley.
Who you slotted in?
McGinn.
Yeah. Did you actually?
Yeah, they got beast fixtures.
Trust me, man. Trust me.
Got beast fixtures coming up.
I'm actually going to have to take him out now because I can't be doing that, man.
Put Barkley in trust.
Put Billy Sharp up top as well, I reckon.
So you must have freed up 0.5 mil there, Mace, as well.
Looking to wiggle in Pepe at some point.
Ooh.
Oh, shit. Eyed him up.
Eyeing him up. Downgrade one of those Liverpool wing backs in a couple of weeks. Upgrade Sigurdsson to PP. I think I'm laughing.
Fair play. So I can see that a lot of FPL users have been very knee-jerky. So the top 5 subbed in. Actually, I do the top 5 subbed out. So Allison, which is fair play because he's injured. I think he's had over
half a million. Yeah, 500,000. Crazy.
Have any of you got Allison or not?
No.
Is it just... No.
I'll tell you what, though, he's obviously going to go down to maybe 5.9, 5.8 over the next couple of weeks. So could be a nice pick up.
So I was going to say, like, if for people listening, what would you say? Do you reckon you should go down 1.5 million and go for Adrian, or would you go straight to Edison or someone like that? What would you do?
I'd probably go for Adrian, like I think that the keeper, they're still going to have Van Dijk and Trent and everyone in front of them. And, the keeper's only good as the players in the defence. So yeah. I would just go for Adrian, free up some funds, slot someone in the midfield. But it's only trying to work Alisson back in once he becomes fit. So you got to think about the money.
Can't spend it, yeah.
Unless you would have, cost points further down the line. So I probably would slot in Adrian, but
I would have.
Alisson.
I think I would have tried to play the financial arbitrage. I would have subbed out Alisson and gone for Edison, who everyone seems to be putting in. And hopefully, if Edison goes up to 6.1 and Alisson goes down, you're picking up an extra point mil there that you can upgrade another player. So if this was a stock exchange, I would be going short Alisson, long Edison.
Yeah, I think that's a very smart move. Just to go through that, Adrian's fixtures are likely going to be, I think, if Alisson misses the next 5 weeks, Southampton away, Arsenal at home, Burnley away, Newcastle at home, and then it's touch and go if Alisson will be back for Chelsea away. So I know how strong Liverpool's defence are. Obviously, I know they conceded against Norwich, but I don't know. I don't see many clean sheets. I'd say Newcastle at home is the only guaranteed clean sheet.
I don't know. I'd be worried, man, if I had like a couple Liverpool defenders, even like 3 Liverpool defenders, because even though the back four is decent, Alisson's still a really good shot stopper. He does keep the ball out, and I don't know if Adrian has got that as much in him. So I don't know. I would just be slightly more concerned if I was tripling up that Liverpool defence.
Now, there's this psychological thing when the number 2 keeper steps in for the number 1, they never get to play. They always play beast. I remember last year, Angus Gunn, mate, got thrown in for Southampton against us. We just peppered his goal all game and didn't let us thing in. I think Adrian will do a bit of that while Alisson's out.
Yeah, could happen. Could definitely happen.
Could happen. Could also definitely not happen.
Yeah, well, 100%.
That's it, though, isn't it?
Well, the only top 5 keeper subbed in the most 5 subs is Edison, so it seems like...
De Gea as well.
Oh, yeah, De Gea as well. Yeah, fair play. I'll give you that one. Sorry, I got distracted by the person just in front of him. Right, so the top 5 subbed out. So Alisson, Bernardo Silva, who did not play, and he is in my team. Not bitter at all, Pep. 8 million, 0 points. And they've got...
Fuming.
Yeah, unbelievable. Robertson getting subbed out. What is that?
That is surprising.
That is a knee-jerk, isn't it? That is
knee-jerk.
100%.
I sort of agree with Bernardo Silva. I do not blame anyone for getting rid of Addison or Silva. But Robertson, even Robertson, Fraser and Jimenez, they'll come good.
Mate, you know what that is? People just going Robertson to Trent just straight away. Like, it's just guaranteed.
Yeah. But doesn't Trent...
Robertson might get the assist next week. There's not going to be a lot between them.
That's why people finish low, man. They're not good players.
True.
Yeah,
True.
You touched on the other 2. I think they're sort of knee jerks as well. So Fraser's gone out of people's teams, and then the 5th most is Jimenez. I think that's quite harsh on Jimenez, but I guess if he's only, I'm guessing is he 7.5 Jimenez or something? I guess with Rashford's form and Barnes' form, you can see where people are going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still knee jerky though, isn't it? Still so rash.
Are they in form now? If you score,
Nah.
do you count that as in form? Is Ashley Barnes in form?
I'd say Barnes for 2019's been in form. Like he's carried on where he left last season, and yeah. So the top 5 most subbed in: Edison, obviously, Sterling, which is getting worrying because if his price goes up, he's just going to be one of those people that's going to be really hard to get in, especially if you haven't got him like me.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that many people have subbed him in and didn't have him to begin with, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm trying to work it out. Obviously, he's 11 mil. I can only think that people would have spent their 100 mil, and to get Sterling in, they must be taking a -4, downgrading someone like Jimenez to Barnes, and then like Bernardo Silva to whatever his face is. What are we talking about? Sterling.
What's he saying?
Do you know what I mean? So there must be some -4s going on as well to get Sterling in. There's no like for like, really.
I was thinking that Bernardo Silva's the most I've won, but that's a 4.5 million switch. Like that's gonna be like a -8 unless you're doing something really drastic.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So Edison, Sterling, Rashford, obviously very impressive. He's on my list to get now. I think.
I'll tell you what, Pell's gonna have a mare though if Rashford starts going up in price. He's trying to work.
He's gonna be the new Vardy, isn't he? He's gonna be your Vardy, Pell. Let's face it.
Yeah, it's already. I can see it happening. It's already happening.
David De Gea as well. So another keeper who was already Alisson going to De Gea to free up some funds, and yeah, they look decent at the back, United. And number 5, which is a mare.
Yeah.
Divock Origi is a 5th most subbed in.
Bad.
That's such a shocker, man. There's so many people have no idea what they're doing.
It's because he's 5.5, but he's a forward. He's playing left wing, and you saw Mane's already getting minutes. Like he's going to get dropped.
That's just poor knowledge, poor game knowledge. If you did that sub, if you're one of the 115k and you're listening to this podcast, you should be ashamed of yourself.
But can you still please subscribe?
Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Fucking idiots.
And on that note,
Please like this vid.
Yeah, and on that note, I think
We'll sign it off.
we'll call it a day there. So I will say though, later this week we are going to do our game week 2 predictions. We'll check on the Liverpool Chelsea game. We'll see if there's any injuries or any team news. So I know a lot of people give in predictions now, but I think it's better to save your sub later. No offense, Mason. And
no regrets.
it's cool, man. Yeah, so we'll give a podcast later this week. So make sure you're subscribed or you follow on Spotify. Drop us comments, what you like, what you don't like, and we'll try and get back to you. We're on all the social medias. They'll be dropped in the comments below. And yeah, so thank you, Mason.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me again.
Cheers, pal.
Yeah, great debut hosting there, Joe.
Cheers, man, and cheers, Jake.
Thanks, Joe. Really enjoyed it.
Right, we'll catch you guys later. And yeah, peace.
Just one more thing. Whoever subbed Origi in, I hate you.
God. Jordan's Nam, wasn't
Ray's knob, I heard.
Ray's not got a team.